Photography is real, man. It is something that I love to do because I get an opportunity to see things with my eyes. And most importantly, I get the opportunity to take an opportunity to capture a moment. I like to practice when I'm out and about to do different things. I may not be perfect at composition. I may not be perfect at lighting or the rule of thirds or anything like that, any technical idea that you have. Why? Because I'm not trying to necessarily be perfect. What I'm trying to be is challenging to the very photographer that I think I am. The one who put forth the most effort in a sense or in a way to find out who he is and what he is when it comes down to his shooting. Now, when I was out shooting here this day, I was like, I normally don't shoot people. I normally don't go up to folks, but I went to these people and asked.
Can I snap y'all doing your thing? Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I asked because I needed to make sure that I could tap into my confidence, tap into what I would consider the best feeling, and that is doing what you love and people allowing you to do what you love, right? Without the fear of rejection, without the fear that you're not good enough. And it's just doing it, understanding that you might not get it perfect, but you will get it the way you want to get it. Now, this was an interesting pick to me because it was the only window with the color in it. In a world where pretty much everything is built now with the gray and the white being the lead, I'm thinking we're missing a lot of color. Seems like color is being pulled out of the things of which we are engaging in each and every day. And I have to say that, majority of us out here, could use a little bit of color in our interactions and in our ways of being able to see what life is like. So I love to be able to capture water and make it stand still in the frame, because that is something that I think we all can say is a great technique. Now, the way that you do that is you want to make sure, number one, if you possibly can, I'll show you later on, I have a night shot doing the same thing. If you possibly can, you pump up your shutter speed to a point where, and you can do a couple of test shots, where if you want the water to still have a little bit of blur in it to have that motion effect, or if you want to make it stand completely still, you want to pump up that shutter speed to match that water at the pace that makes it stand still in the camera, or to still have some of that still have some of that motion. Now, when I'm out and about and I'm shooting and there are people around, I could click away at the amount of people that are around me. What I find intimidating, unlike the other two folks that I asked to take a picture of, what I find intimidating is pointing a camera at somebody and just right? There's a couple of photographers that I've seen on YouTube who do surprise shots, and I'm like, that would piss me off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool to ask me to take a picture because I get it. I'm a photographer too, so I would be cool with you taking my pic. But to sneak and do it is like, ugh. Now, this right here I found interesting. I was walking, looked, and I was like, oh, snap, look at the headlight in the puddle there. And I just was like, let me capture this to a point where the car, and straightforward, I knew the car was on. I did not pay attention to the person in the car. But I was like, let me take this picture where the top of the headlight is kind of in frame, and then showing obviously the headlight in there. And then I was like, okay, here we go, some little weed store that I think is interesting. But I tell you what, I like taking pictures in 9x16 for social media, of course. But then I also just enjoy taking I guess you want to say a regular old 3x2 or 4x3 or a 16x9 as well. Now this right here is probably one of my most interesting shots. I was just walking by, I saw these roses on the table in these glasses, and first thing popped in my head was Beauty and the Beast. And I was like, I gotta get this shot, man. Gotta get it. And I'm like, I was so ecstatic that I did. But I tell you what, it was tough because When you're trying to focus in with a 70 to 200 lens, and I'm using a 70 to 200 G Master, by the way, on a Sony A7RV. When you're putting that together, the focus point or the closeness that you can focus becomes an issue sometimes. So you have to, just make sure that you are at a very good distance, if you will, from your subject. And remember, you always have 200 millimeters you can play with, so you can back up a little bit, but depending on the angle you want to get it, or your obstructions or anything that's in the way, you can do that, right? But I will tell you this. The subject of photography is becoming one of my favorites. Now, a lot of things that you see, I have edited to my liking. Now, could I have used a lot of these images straight out of camera? For sure. I like to shoot a lot of images a little bit more out of camera because I believe that it becomes, essential to your own, camera aspect. Now, I love that shot. That one straight out of camera. The only thing I did was add color to the lighting that was in there because it was kind of dull in the camera. But like you can see at this restaurant here, this is Rocco's, by the way. If you're ever in Fort Lauderdale, you ever want some good tacos and stuff like that, Rocco's has them. There's other places that are better. Don't knock my head off if you're in the Fort Lauderdale area. But I just wanted to capture this picture. You see that lady coming out the door? She stopped me for about a good 10 minutes, and we just talked photography.
Hot.
But after she stopped me and we finished talking, I went back to doing what I was doing. And of course, this banister caught my eye because of the rainwater that was on it. I always think the most impeccable photos are the ones with the still water or something like that. The things that we kind of don't pay attention to, or the things we wouldn't touch if it was wet. Now, I was having a trouble getting it to focus here because of the fact, like I said, sometimes you have to take a step back. There's a fellow photographer walking next to me there. But sometimes you have to take a step back in order to get it to come into focus. Now, I put the picture up there, but to be honest with you, it took a while for me to be able to get it. If you see, and you see that picture was a 16 by 9, and me, I'm holding it at 9 by 16. But nevertheless, it's tough to focus in. Now, if I had my 24 to 70, it'd have been a lot easier to focus in. I could have put the camera pretty much right up on it. This is one of my favorites too. Stairway to Heaven type of deal. And I never knew this existed. I've been walking this area or walked around here many times and have never known it existed. I still don't know what it is, but at least I know exactly where it is now. Now, straight out of camera, of course, that was not gonna do it for me. I wanted a little bit more color there. I don't know why this sign caught my eye, but it did. Maybe it's the lights. I did want to go to that shop to the right of it and take a picture, but I decided not to because it seemed like they were having some type of meeting in there or something, and I didn't want to have a camera pointed directly at those folks. I took that picture there, but I didn't post it because somehow, some way, when I came out, I don't know, it came out pretty funky. I might put it in there. Might put it up on social media or something. But nevertheless, when you're out taking your pictures, man, there's nothing better than being able to capture not just a moment, not just a way, but always capture what you feel. Go off what makes you feel something. Like this picture here, that made me feel something. Go off what you feel. Go off what you see. Go off what you feel. Go off your artistic instincts. Go off of what you want to take a picture of. Remember, it's not about being seen on social media or having people see you. It's all about, putting out the art that you want it to be and putting out the art that you want it to look like, so that you can, be proud of what your work is and be proud of what you're doing. There's a lot of people out there right now who are not necessarily proud of what they're doing and who aren't proud of the work they're putting out. They're putting it out for popularity. The conversation I had with the lady, she said to me, I want to put stuff out, but I don't know if it's good and yada, yada, yada. And I told her, I said, you're going to make two choices. You got to make two choices. Either you want to do it for the money or you do it for the passion. Now, if the two mix in together for you, even better, but you got to decide which way you want to go. If anything, you got to decide. You got to say, I want to be a content creator. I want to be a consumer. I want to create or I want to consume. Now, there's a thing when it comes down to creation. That means you are taking time out to create. You're taking time out to step away from the rigmarole. You're taking time to step away from the people, and you're literally in your bag. You're just focusing in on what you want to do, and you're not focused on what people are posting, whatever. Now, remember, social media was a thing when it came down to not just on the popularity side, but it was literally, people showing what they were good at, and then people were following people based upon what they were good at. Now, if you look at it now, it's not necessarily that, and obviously it was meant to keep in touch with your family, friends, make new friends, and stuff like that. But the fact is, it's like it's changed. Now, if you've liked these pictures and liked everything you've seen so far, as far as the POV shoot, how I'm doing these things, leave a comment. Let me know what you think and feel about what I'm doing. And by all means, if you have any pointers, anything you want to see or anything you think I could do, let me know. And if you see it there above ahead, if you saw that previous frame, that was the couple from the earlier that I asked if I could take their pic. Now, when you're around and you got plenty of lights from cars, you got plenty of it to shape your environment. Remember, you don't have to have a pristine environment to take your photo. You just got to have the environment, right? The environment is what it is, and it's okay for the shadow to be a shadow and the highlight to be a highlight. It's okay to know the rule of thirds, to have a balanced photo, right? You want to have that exposure at 0.0, right? But it's also cool if you want to have it at 0.3, negative 0.3, whatever. Remember, because there are rules to it in order to help you understand what the mid balance is, and then you as an artist can do what you will. When you look at people who do paintings, okay, if something for them is black, it's black. If something for them has a little ash to it or charcoal, it's a little bit of ash or charcoal. And they do just that. It's okay to follow the rules or understand what you're doing and then go into doing your own thing, but only until you understand what you're doing, right? Unless you just got that natural skill talent, you come right out the box and you just like, boom, I got it from here. Now, this is the water standing still that I'm talking about. You want to pump up that shutter speed to match the speed if you want to make that water stand still, and you'll see exactly what I'm saying, how that water just stands still in that camera, man. And it's not magic, it's not this or that. All it is understanding the water you're looking at, bumping up the shutter, maybe take a test shot like I did there, and then keep going until you get it to where you want it to be, and then you pump out your real shot from there. Boom. Oh man. That was probably my favorite shot from the entire night. Now, mind you, I walked around here for about 2 hours. Obviously, I got this down to a little bit for y'all, but I stopped to talk to this guy because he speaks to me every time I come down here and listen to our interaction, man.
Yeah. Huh? Say it again?
Do you do census?
No. I just take photos, man. That's it.
I see you the other day. I said, man, you ready?
Yeah, man, I got a passion for it, so I just come out and practice and see what I can see what I can find, you know what I mean, and take pictures, and that's it.
And that's what I used to see a lot of people doing around Lake Eola.
Okay.
And there was a lot of exotic birds and
Oh, okay.
swans and all type of
Yeah.
birds. And I used to see people that they got angles and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's what's up.
Yeah, man. You just try to take in God's creation, bro. That's all. That's it, man. God bless you, man.
Listen, always take time to speak to people around, especially as being a photographer.
Yes, sir.
And just take time out to enjoy what you're around and enjoy the people that you are around as you do your thing. Always show love, always give back, and always stay true to your passion. Peace.